Hey there, welcome to Old Man Runner. In today's video, I'm going to compare this, the OnRunning Cloudstratus, to this, the OnRunning Cloudboom Echo. First, I'm going to review their construction, their feel and their wear and tear. Then I'm going to assess their performance by doing some Gutbusters in the park. And finally, I'm going to see if they make a great 1-2 combination. I've been wondering for a while about if you only had two pairs of shoes. I had bought the Cloudboom Echo, which I loved, but you can't use it every day. So I saw the Cloudstratus go on sale, the new version, and I thought, yeah, I could get these and see if they make the perfect dynamic duo. Why get two pairs of shoes? Well, as you run along, the plastic compresses, and sometimes it's handy to have two pairs of shoes to give the shoe a natural amount of time to decompress. The other reason, I think probably the more important reason, is the task. So different shoes are suited to different sorts of tasks. I have a lot of shoes, so I pick a particular shoe for a particular task, and in this video I'm really trying to see, can these two shoes do nearly all your tasks? Okay, you say, well, I'm going to buy two pairs of shoes, but essentially each one will have half the mileage. Now, it's not exactly that, because a performance shoe like a Cloudboom Echo is going to cost more and you'll run less miles in it, but essentially you're getting two shoes and relatively half the mileage. I've reviewed these shoes in detail and I'll put the links at the end. I won't waste your time by popping in the footage here. There'll also be lots of stuff in the descriptions below. From a distance, I suppose, and if you're new to running, these shoes probably look fairly similar. But if I take the Cloudboom Echo, it's really thin on the upper. I mean, it's not paper thin, but it's not far off. There's a tiny bit of padding on the heel. There's a very thin tongue. I mean, it's really thin, and the thinnest laces I've ever come across. All designed to save weight in the upper. This is a different kind of proposition. This is designed to keep you comfortable over long, slow miles. Very padded around the heel, lots of structure. Very padded on the tongue. It's got this interesting thing that you can clip the laces in. Usually I find that on trail shoes, but they seem to have made it here. Again, they're star lacing pattern, but it's designed to be the opposite of the Echo. It's, yeah, plush. Technically, these shoes are the same size in EU 48, US M13, UK 12.5, but they have a very different footprint. So if I hold the two of them up, you'll see this one is much bigger than this one. The smaller one's the Cloudboom Echo. It's 69 millimeters wide at its narrowest point, and the Cloudstratus is 79 millimeters. And if you look at the heel, the way it tapers in dramatically inwards on this shoe and outwards on this shoe. And if you look at the size of the rear two pods or clouds on this one compared to this one, you'll see it's dramatically shorter. And the reason for that is this shoe, you're going to be more on your forefoot. It's the faster shoe. This one, you're probably on easy days, you're probably more towards your heel. And that's the difference between the two shoes, apart from the fact that one's got a carbon plate in it, which is a big difference in the performance. They both have a small amount of outsole. I think there's an additional one on the Cloudstratus, but a very limited amount. On shoes don't have great grip or traction in my experience. Well, maybe some do, but no, they don't have great grip. Some have more traction. We'll go to that in another subsequent video. But they also have a habit of collecting stones in here. So I collected a big stone of this the other day. Frustrating if you're running a marathon, but again, you're unlikely to be doing that on gravel. On the Cloudstratus, funny, if I ran over a gravel trail from Greystones to Bray recently and didn't pick up a piece of gravel at all, which surprised me. Usually when I do a comparison, I try to get them to the same mileage, but somehow or other, I've run 90 kilometers or 56 miles in these, and I've run 60 kilometers, 37 miles in these. And neither shoe is showing much wear and tear. I mean, there's a little bit on both of them. It's pretty much the same. A little bit here. John, who comments in here, says he ran recently in them, and he thinks he might, in these ones, the Cloudboom Echo, he reckons he might get 220 Ks or 137 miles out of them. In a racing shoe, that's okay. In the Cloudstratus, not so much on an easy day shoe, that you'd expect more mileage out of them. My previous ones, which I did in the detailed video, wore really badly. On shoes, in my experience, don't wear very well. On shoes, they very typically say to size up. On these two shoes, they say they fit true to size. I find they fit fine about them. Once or twice I felt a little tightness around here on the Echo, but it's been rare, and I kind of don't know why. Were my foot swole or different socks? I don't know. I usually wear pretty much similar, very thin socks. In terms of weight, the Cloudstratus is 368 grams or 13 ounces, which compares very favorably to a comparator, the Brooks Glycerin 19 GTS, which I tested. The Cloudboom Echo is 273 grams or 9.6 ounces. So it's a bit heavier than a Metaspeed Sky by Asics, which is one of the lightest shoes. Actually, Metaspeed Edge is lighter still, but it's about the same as a Nike Alphafly. It's critical to me in making these videos that I can tell you the stack height and the heel drop. And I can't because, well, I can't accurately. On will put the heel to toe drop on all of their shoes on their website. It's great to get. I've been trying to get the stack height out of them. It's like pulling teeth. You send an email off and you get an email back saying it'll take us several days to answer. And then several days later, back comes the answer. And it came back this morning saying the stack height is 8 millimeters in this shoe and 9 millimeters in that shoe. And by the way, it's on our website. It's not. What's on the website is the heel drop. Anyway, previously somebody had told me from On that this stack height on the Cloudstratus is 28 millimeters, the heel drop's 8, and the Cloudboom Echo, it's about 35 mil from what I can gather from other websites, but On say it's got a 9 millimeter drop. And the reason all this is important is for some of you, so Rachel was asking me last week about heel drop in different shoes. It doesn't bother me. I go from all sorts of shoes, heel drop up and downwards, it doesn't bother me. But if you're going from say an 8 to 10 millimeter shoe that you regularly run on, you might be concerned about going down to a 5 millimeter, say an Asics Metaspeed or something like that, drop shoe for racing in. It doesn't bother me. But knowing what the stack height of this, and then this is a 9 millimeter drop, stack height's really important. It's not in these shoes. It can lead to disqualification in races, but for me, it can make them unstable. And so I just wish manufacturers, I know that it's going to vary from shoe to shoe. An average on a US men's 10 and a US women's 8 or something like that would be fine. Very frustrating. So in simple terms, not too high in this, and but they've both got about the same heel drop, so that concerns you can swap from one to the other with relative ease. In terms of design, I find this unappealing. There's almost nothing about this shoe that excites me visually, which is a shame. I loved its previous one. I absolutely loved its previous one. It's upstairs in its well-worn state, but it doesn't do anything for me. This, on the other hand, I love the look of this shoe. I mean, I deliberately bought them in the same color, but I love the design of this shoe, the little on at the front, the very lightweight Swiss flag. I adore the tongue. If you can see the tongue, there is a beautiful silver-tongued On. I just love it. I love one of the things I always love about On shoes lately is the drop down the cockpit and going back. So this is a shoe I really like the look of. In terms of color, On call this white and black, or maybe I think they call it white and black, not black and white. They don't mention the green. I mean, the green is important to me. If you look at a Nike shoe, there'll be about 20 colors listed. It's tango with maroon, with mango, with tangerine, with banana, with guava. On keep it pretty simple. In terms of the running feel, well, these are great. They're firm, they're fast, but the narrow heel means that essentially I would only use these as a tempo, stride, or race day. Something like the Metaspeed Sky by Asics, I could wear them anytime. They feel great in any type of running. These ones, you really want to be running fast in them. If you're floating around, there's not a lot of heel going on, so they're not great for that. These are firm, but they're fine. I ran, when I'm doing my Gutbusters, I jumped out of a pair of Hoka One Clifton 7s into these, and they felt really nice. I mean, I really enjoyed the feel of them. I ran 30 kilometers in them a couple of Sundays ago, the last long run, and it was, yeah, they feel nice. Put them on, run away, no bother. The performance, now for the fast. Okay, I'm not entirely sure that everybody realizes the difference that a shoe makes. I mean, a lot of people who watch these kind of videos do, obviously, but my friend Brian certainly doesn't. He thinks I'm making this stuff up. Superficially, these look the same. I mean, these are the same sort of color. They're, what are they again? White and black with some green, you know, they're kind of look the same color. They're by On. They've got black laces. They're kind of, you know, the same size. You know, they might look similar. And if you're in a store, you might be thinking, gosh, or what's the difference between one or the other? Or again, you're buying online and they all say they're fast. There's no one part of these websites say, actually, this is a slow shoe. So in order to assess the difference in performance, we'll go to Gutbusters. Like, Gutbusters are 1 kilometer time trials that I do in the park. I do them on consecutive days because the weather is more likely to be similar and the conditions in 2 consecutive days. And first I do is I run out in a controlled shoe at the moment, a Clifton 7, the Hoka Clifton 7s. I like running out, just do that just to warm up, get used to the conditions, look at the traction, see if there's anything in the way, etc, etc, etc. Then I go out using my ABBA method. So I go out in shoe A as hard as I can, followed by shoe B as hard as I can. And then the following day, I do shoe B as hard as I can, and then shoe A as hard as I can. I do 2 shoes on the day, just in case the conditions are very different between day to day, and you then kind of average it out. Now, there's usual proviso here. It's limited data, so we can draw limited conclusions. But with that in mind, we'll crack on. I'll show the results here, and you'll see the results are from Strava. I measured them on the Chorus Pace 2 and exported them to Strava. The reason was my GPS didn't work really well on the Garmin. For some reason, it was very far out. I could see it was like 1 lap would end at one point and then 20 meters past. So anyway, that's why I go out 2 watches, I suppose, or sometimes 3. I've been known to wear all 3. Anyway, on Saturday, Run A, the Cloudstratus, did it in 4:14, 4 minutes 14 seconds, and the Cloudboom Echo in 4 minutes and 9 seconds, a 5-second difference. And Sunday on Run A, I went out in the Cloudboom Echo, hard, got to 3 minutes and 56 seconds, and in Run B, in the Cloudstratus, 4 minutes and 16 seconds, a 20-second difference. So we'll have a look at the results and analyze them. One of the reasons I do the consecutive runs is because the conditions vary. The track was damp on both days, which is really tricky. There's a sort of bend about a third of the way in, and I could barely get around it. I went really wide. It was really damp both days. On the first day, the wind was 21.4 kilometers or 13.3 miles an hour. Second day, it was a 30 kilometer wind, 18.64 miles an hour. And I felt that really slowing me down on one of the straights. Essentially, it's 2 straights, but there's a lot of trees. On the second one, in the headwind of 30 kilometers an hour. So typically, although there was a 5-second difference between 2 shoes on the first day and 20 the second day, look, you know that the Cloudboom Echo is going to be faster. I mean, it's a carbon fiber shoe, but it does, brine, it goes faster. And I was draining the tank in them. But even though draining the tank because of the wind, I did, let's say, slower in the Cloudboom Echo than I previously, another time, I'd run in 3 minutes 44. And that's one of the reasons why I try to do the runs back to back, is because your own personal conditions, I think I'm reasonably fit, I've done a lot of training, but that can vary. And of course, the wind varies, and certainly the traction on the ground with a damp track varies. So essentially, I mean, I'm supposed to prove what we probably already know, is that the fast shoe is way faster than the easy day shoe. In terms of cost, the Cloudboom Echo is €249.95, $269.99. I don't know why they're so different. Usually they're pretty much matched. But anyway, it's £210 sterling or $369.95 in Australia. Now that, at least in the euro terms, is the same, exact same pretty much, as the Asics Metaspeed Sky and the Endorphin Pro Plus by Saucony, and also the Vaporfly 2. So they're all pretty much on a level playing field. So the Cloudboom Echo, in that sense, is the same cost. Okay, it's a bit, the Nike Alphafly is a bit more expensive, but essentially it's the same price as its competitors. The Cloudstratus, on the other hand, I think it's a bit more expensive. It's $169.99 or €179.95, or £150 dead in the UK and $259.95 in Australia. So it's kind of at the higher end of cost for that kind of shoe. The Brooks Glycerin that I tested, the GTS 19, that was €170, which is about $10 cheaper here in Ireland. So I think, yeah, the Cloudstratus isn't the cheapest shoe around, nor really are any of the OnRunning shoes. I think it's really good to have 2 different shoes. One that might be at the expensive end, but that is your fast shoe. One you use for races, tempos, strides, that kind of thing, but really for your fast shoe. And another one that's taking the bulk of your runs, that you'll take a bit more hopefully a bit more wear and tear and last a bit longer, and you use for easy days and when you don't need to go fast. And also when you're trying to have a bit more support and structure to the shoe to you know, help you recover even though you are out running on easy days. I love this shoe. To use a phrase that we say here is deadly buzz. I love running this shoe. I really do. This one, it's okay. I mean, I ran 30k in them. I felt fine, but I'm not really feeling the love from this shoe. Should you buy these shoes? The Cloudboom Echo, yes. Cloudstratus, maybe. If you like On shoes and you like a similar feel to having the two shoes and you want a similar heel to toe drop, then yes. Do they make the perfect dynamic duo? Holy smoke, yes. But the Cloudboom Echo is the Batman of the pair. I hope you enjoyed the video and found it useful. If you did, it'd be great if you hit the like button. There'll be lots of stuff in the descriptions below. And as always, I'll happily answer any questions that pop up in the comments. There'll be a blue subscribe button popping up there and some related videos there. Thanks for watching. Until the next video, just keep running along.